Welcome everyone to another FPL video. My name is Mo and today is the day I'm going to be revealing my team selection for Game Week 4, and yes, I have indeed activated my wildcard. So I've played it, guys. I was pretty much certain I was going to play it ever since I found out that Ronaldo was coming into my team. I pretty much had to do a complete facelift of my team, so I've made a total of 7 transfers. So we'll go through all of it. We'll tell you what my plans are, what my long-term plans are. Is it a long-term plan, some medium-term plans, and some short-term plans as well in there. So before we get into all that, and I'll go through my team reveal, all you need to do is hit that like button if you like the content, and if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. Help us reach the 1k mark, which we're almost reaching at a fast pace. So let's get stuck in. And what I'm going to do before I reveal my players, I'm going to go through the fixtures. So we've gone through this in a previous video as well. So I've rated here the teams with, the fixtures. Now, the fixtures are the easier ones at the top. So we start with Arsenal. It's not alphabetical at all. So you can see, based on the fixture difficulty, the kind of tracker that the FPL website uses, I've kind of highlighted, what fixture strengths or difficulties there are. Green is going to be the simple games or the easier games. The grey is kind of like the medium-ish games, and the red outline a difficult fixture for the team. So I've gone in order of, being the easiest fixtures at the top and the difficult fixtures below. So I've highlighted 7 clubs that, I was focusing specifically on and who I've looked at, and I've decided I'm going to go for those players, or I've decided to avoid them for whichever reason. So as you guys can see, there's some really good fixtures that we can target in the next 5 game weeks. Obviously, after game week 7 or 8, there's going to be another fixture swing. So when we get to that time, I'll kind of give you a bit more of my thought process. I'll go through a bit of that in this video as well, in terms of why I've gone for specific players now and overlooked certain players who I think have difficult fixtures at the moment compared to, maybe game week 7 or 8 when the fixtures take a turn for the better of those players. So this team is kind of like which is going to be based for the next 5 to 6 game weeks. Some players are going to be in there for pretty much a longer period. But this season, as I mentioned before, the premiums ain't set. So as previous seasons, as I've mentioned before, especially with the goalkeeper, for example, it's set and forget at 4.5. With the premiums, it was kind of like, once you've picked them, they'll take care of themselves. But we've had such a great transfer window. For me, the best in years. I haven't been this excited in FPL for a long, long time. Obviously, Ronaldo's come in, Lukaku's come in. We see some really, really blockbuster signings in Sancho as well, Grealish to Man City. We can't forget those guys as well. So it's made decisions for us managers as FPL managers a lot more challenging, a lot more exciting really, and this 2 weeks can't go through quicker enough. I'm not a fan of international breaks, but you know what? We're not too far away, just a couple of days left. It'll be Saturday, game week time, submitting our deadline teams, and we're ready to kick off. So I've had a complete facelift, basically. I can say 7 out of the 15 players that I have been taken out of my squad. So generally you can see that, I've kind of reevaluated my strategy, thought of things that have gone well, also analysed things that haven't gone so well as well. I've decided to, make amends to that as well. And you'll be excited to know that I've actually scrapped the 5 defender strategy. So no longer the arrow formation. I'm going to go conventional. So the formation I'm playing, guys, is going to be 4-3-3. So 4 at the back, 3 midfielders, and 3 attackers. So I've gone for 3 premiums. All the premiums are in all the different positions. So there's a premium in defenders, there's a premium in a midfielder, and there's a premium up front as well. So I've gone for a balanced approach because I think that will serve me well. And I've kind of done loads of drafts in myself. I've tinkered with the team, I've had thoughts, I've sat for a long time, debated which looks the best. I have been able to get 4 premiums in one of my drafts, but I just thought the rest of the team was far too light, and I couldn't kind of play that game or that team in those game weeks feeling so light in terms of other players. But you know what? We've managed to get a draft. I'm content with it, barring any drastic changes due to injuries and stuff. And if everyone's fit to play and it looks good, the team I'm going to be analysing today or revealing to you guys will be my team going into game week 4, which is just a couple of days away. So let's start from the back line. So Sanchez is still going to be my goal. I've not decided to change him. I'm sticking with that analogy of going for a cheap goalkeeper who's going to be playing week in, week out. Now, he started off, he hasn't had the best of starts, but he hasn't had a disastrous start either. So at 4.5 million, he's owned by 24.3% of managers. He's got 10 points already. His next fixture is against Brentford, which is away in this game week. He's got 1 clean sheet already as well. Obviously, no assists or goals at the moment, but you never know. Goalkeepers can come along with those, especially like Edison and Alisson. They are very agile, and they're very, very good in the outfield as well. So Alisson scored last season against West Brom. That header kind of got them into the top 4. But you know what? If he comes up with any returns, we won't say no. So again, it's a kind of a set and a forget. I haven't changed my strategy despite playing my wild card. And Ben Foster is going to be my reserve keeper. Now, moving on to my defenders. Why have I changed my strategy from 5 at the back? To be fair, it didn't serve me too badly. It went well. I had plans in my mind, if they'd paid off a bit more, I could have got, a few more points and I could have been a lot higher in my ranking. But it's been such a fast-paced start, guys. A lot of players in FPL have done really well, and it's not too significant. So I think, in about 16 points, I can actually increase my ranking by something ridiculous like 800,000-900,000. So there's not too much to worry about. One good game week can actually swing it for us. So I think, right now is the right time for me to observe, sink it in, and do the transfers that I need. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to tell you the players later who I've taken out completely and who I've replaced them with. But let's just talk about the guys who I have selected. So the first one in the premium, in my defender, is going to be Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, I've watched this guy season in, season out, and there's been times in the season, like the start of this season, where I haven't got him in my squad. Have I lived to regret it? Kind of. But I'm not going to, sit here and, slate my strategy of a 5 at the back. I still thought that was a good strategy at that time. Tsimikas came good, and Liverpool got the clean sheets, which I personally weren't expecting them to get. But let's just sit back and just analyse how well this guy's done. Owned by 33.4% of managers at the moment. So these percentages I'm going through is at the time of this video is being recorded, guys. So obviously people will kind of bring in transfers later on in the week, maybe play their wild cards. They're going to wait till they're kind of like a little more closer in terms of injury news and kind of team users and who's available due to the whole international travel. But these statistics are kind of based in ownership based on when I'm doing the recording, okay? So 33.4% in ownership, 22 points respectively. He's got 1 clean sheet with 1 assist. Hasn't scored yet, but, with the fixture next, he's playing against Leeds away. Leeds, along with Newcastle, are one of the weakest defences in the league. They like to attack. They're very good going forward, but defensively, they can be exploited. And, Trent's on set pieces. He'll take free kicks, corners. He's always ahead in the game. He likes to whip the ball in. Doesn't mind a shot either. And he's proved that even against Chelsea, despite having a difficult opposition. The guy likes to get forward, the guy likes to attack, and it will be not too long before he gets a really good haul. And there's some really good fixtures coming up for Liverpool as well, as we've discussed, so I can go through those fixtures for you. Leeds away, Crystal Palace, Brentford. Man City seems difficult, but they've got Watford after that, so that's the kind of rationale around it. So the 2 of the promoted clubs, they will be playing. They are away games at the end of the day, but I do expect Liverpool to come away with the 3 points, and Trent should play a major impact in those games itself. So that's the thought process about selecting him. I could have, downgraded him and kind of, taken someone else, like in terms of like another midfielder up to Son or an attacker to Jamie Vardy, but I'm not going to do that. I think Son, yes, he's had an okay-ish start to the season. So has Vardy, but I think overall in the long run, I just can't have Trent not being in my squad. So I had to choose him. I've picked him now, and I'm going to back him for pretty much most of the season. So he's probably going to be in there for a long time. Unless he gets injured or loses form, I think he will stay in my squad for the long term. The next defender I brought in is Kofal, so it's kind of like a swap for like for Cresswell. So Cresswell served me well, but I needed the extra $500,000 to get the ideal squad that I was looking for. So I had to make a sacrifice for Cresswell, and Kofal's not a bad replacement for $500,000 cheaper. He plays for the same squad, and West Ham have got off to an absolute flyer of a start. He's respectively owned by 11.3% of managers, 7 points so far with no clean sheets for West Ham, but he's got an assist, so it shows he likes to get forward. He does like to go down the right-hand side, and if you've got players like Antonio Benrahma, in your squad, then why not? He is going to be a real good asset. And let's look at some of their fixtures ahead of the next couple of games as well. I haven't got them on the list here, but in terms of West Ham, they're not too bad. I think they've got a few difficult fixtures. They've got Manchester United in one of the game weeks, and it's going to be a challenging fixture for them. But overall, with Kofal in there, there could be the odd clean sheet, but with the kind of attacking returns, I'm pretty content with him being in my squad. So I'm still keeping Reguilon in my squad. Had a really good game, got 9 points for me last week in game week 3 against Watford, was man of the match. He's owned by 11.3% of managers at the moment, 22 points with 3 clean sheets. So Tottenham are the only squad at the moment with a 100% record of having clean sheets. They haven't conceded a goal. In terms of fixtures that they've got coming up, the next game they're playing is Crystal Palace, which is away at Selhurst Park. But then they've got Chelsea at home. That's going to be a really good game. And then Arsenal, followed by Aston Villa and Newcastle. So, again, I can see some really good fixtures for them. And maybe he could get an attacking return or two. That would be really beneficial for me in the long run. So that's why, for me, Reguilón is going to be in my squad for a very long time. I'm going to still be back in Luke Shaw. So a lot of managers have kind of dropped out faith in him. So he was owned by around nearly 58% of managers at one point, 57, 58%. But right now he's about 46.9%. Is that due to the fact that he's had no attacking returns in terms of a goal or an assist? That could be the case. In terms of himself, he's got 1 clean sheet and 11 points so far. So I think that will improve. And in terms of fixtures, they're not mostly ideal for Manchester United. But they've got Newcastle at home next. So I think maybe a clean sheet could be there. A few attacking returns. West Ham away is not going to be a good, easy fixture based on their form. Aston Villa at home should be quite decent. Everton at home and then Leicester away. So they've got some difficult fixtures, but I think, with me, I want to keep Luke Shaw and I'm going to trust him. I think overall, over the course of the season, he will serve me well. So that is my back line, guys. So we're now going from a 5 to 4 at the back. And these guys will be my defenders going forward. I have no intentions to captain any of them in this game week. So they're going to be my defending line and I'm going to hope for the best in terms of A, clean sheets, and B, any attacking returns if I can get them indeed. So we moved away from the 5 defenders and we had 3 midfielders in my midfield in my previous team before I played the wildcard. And we're going to remain with the 3 midfielders as well. So Salah will stay in my squad. I'm not taking him out. He's going to be my premium that I'm looking to keep. I have sacrificed other premiums in my squad, which I'll go through later when I talk about him. But Salah is staying. I can't think about getting rid of him. I think around nearly 600,000 managers have taken him out of their squad. I just understand how they've done that. With the fixtures they've got coming up, as I've discussed already, for Liverpool. And the same, basically goes for Trent and Jota, who I've got in. They've got some really good fixtures, guys. So not having Salah in there, even if he doesn't play well, for example, like against Chelsea, he's still got 10 points. He scored a penalty. He was pretty much quiet for most of the game. And, the guy doesn't mind taking a shot. So I just can't see not having Salah in my squad, especially with the fixtures coming up. I can change him, obviously, if there's swings in fixtures and I want to get Lukaku in later in, or example like that. And I want to go for some other assets, for example, like Sterling, who maybe hate having better fixtures, or Kevin De Bruyne comes back. That's something that we can look into. But for now, I'm sticking with Salah and he's going to be in my squad. In terms of, generally, I think from Salah-wise, I think he'll catch form. He's going to be well rested and we can hope for the best against Leeds because, Leeds do like to go ahead and attack. And maybe he can take a good attacking return from there as well. Now, whilst we're on Liverpool, we'll talk about Jota as well. He's the next midfielder that I've brought in. So with Firmino being injured, I think it's going to be a few weeks whilst he's out. I haven't heard much around it, but it didn't look good when he went off. So in terms of Jota, what does he bring to the Liverpool team? Why is he, so good at what he does? He can have an impact off the bench, but he's also really, really good when he plays the full 90 minutes. I think, when he does play per 90 minutes, his stats are absolutely unreal. But generally, let's go through a bit of stats from his own by about 15.9% of managers, 17 points with 2 goals already. So he was pretty close to scoring against Chelsea as well. Against Leeds, I can see him chipping in with a goal. Up front, if he's playing, then he's playing in absence of Firmino. And Liverpool looked much better once Jota did come on the pitch. So that's why he's come into my squad. I was looking at Mason Greenwood for the same price, even Jack Grealish potentially. But with the fixtures they have coming up, and he's going to be playing if Firmino's injured, it's a no-brainer for me to triple up on Liverpool. And that's coming from a United fan, guys. I'm playing this game with honesty, and if I think he's a better fit, I've chosen him over Greenwood, guys. So there's no Man United affiliates here. I think he's a better pick with the fixtures coming up. There's no doubt that Greenwood can do well, or Grealish can as well. Maybe Mason Mount as well, and the same fixture run. But I have to back Jota, A, on form, and B, on fixtures that we have coming up. The next player we've got is Rafinha. Now, a lot of speculation of managers have been around the whole signing of Dan James from Manchester United. What does that impact on Harrison or Rafinha? I don't think it's going to, actually affect either of them. So I think Rafinha, it might benefit him. So he might get the, the role behind the striker. So he might play the more number 9 role or the 10 role. We'll just have to wait and see how Bielsa really sets up. But they've got some really good fixtures coming up once they've played the game against Liverpool. So I think, their fixture run off that is pretty smooth and nice. So I'm really looking to cash in there, ideally. So we'll have to wait and see how they perform. Rafinha has looked good at the start of the season. He's given some really good performances, but hasn't really converted them on the pitch in terms of FPL conversion. So he's owned by a respectable 16.4% of managers, 10 points already, and he scored one amazing goal so far this season. So this is what kind of makes up my 3 midfielders. So I've gone for 1 premium again, which is Salah, Jota, and the last one is going to be Rafinha. Now let's move forward to my forward line. So we moved away from 2 attackers and we've gone for 3 attackers now. So previously I had Bamford and I had Lukaku. They have been taken out of my squad. That doesn't mean they can't be brought back, but based on current situations, I've gone for the following 3 and the reasons which I will let you know. So number 1 is Mikel Antonio. So the FPL king himself, the highest points accumulator so far in 3 game weeks, respectively, got 40 points. He's owned by 49.8% of managers. Now, I just can't not make this draft without having him in there, because if he scores in the next game and people have him as captain or they have him just generally in their squad, my ranking is going to go taking a hit again, and I may get a red arrow, which I just can't afford again. I want to go back in, I want to get a green arrow, and I want to get back into the top end of the FPL managers. So 4 goals, 4 assists, 8 returns already respectively, and his next game is against Southampton. So Southampton have been quite shaky at the back, and he can definitely exploit that as well. Even if he's not playing well, like that last game he played and took that shot out of nowhere, left-footed, bang, on the half volley, goal. That's Mikel Antonio for you. And if he's fit and he's ready, I'm going to have him in my squad. And let's say he gets injured, for example, there are alternatives I can go for in terms of attackers, or I can just do a straight swap where I can play 2 transfers, downgrade him to another striker and upgrade another midfielder and play a 4-4-2. That's something that I can look at. But for now, he's fit, he's in form, he's definitely going to be in my squad. Then we've got Mr. Ronaldo himself. The big blockbuster signing, Mr. Manchester United returns. The King of Manchester has come back. I just can't go forward without him being in my squad. He's come back early. He hasn't played the second game for Portugal. I think he should be ready in time for the game against Newcastle. There is no way he wants to come in off the bench. So Ollie will give us a bit more kind of clarity around it. So we're still waiting for the full news about his fitness. But even if he doesn't start, he will get a sub appearance because they will want to kind of like give him the ovation or introduction at Old Trafford. You know, he's a proven goal scorer, got 29 goals last season with like 2 assists. I don't think he's going to get many assists. He's going to be on penalties in my opinion. I think Bruno will lose his penalties. He's going to be up front, and United have lacked, I would say, an out-and-out striker who can really finish. Greenwood's done his job, Cavani's done his job, but this guy, he means business. I think I'm predicting around 20 to 25 goals this season for him. So why not have him in my squad? People talk about his age, people talk about his fitness. Have you seen his physique? He took his shirt off in the Portugal game. He's more fitter than most teenagers that you have who you think can start week in, week out. This guy isn't going anywhere. He's going to play. He's fit. He's hungry for success, and the guy knows how to win. And he does perform well. He lifts the team. And I think he'll bring a lot to this Manchester United squad. So he probably will take free kicks, penalties. I'm not too sure about corners, but he's good in the air. People forget how great he is at heading the ball. He's got an amazing leap. The guy can stay in the air for an absolute age. And he's got a real strong neck muscles to get a good, powerful header. That's really going to be useful, especially against defences who, you know, for example, like Arsenal, who struggled at Manchester City. Manchester United can take advantage of defences who are not that great aerially. So he adds that kind of value to the squad overall. So that's why he's in my squad, and I'm hoping he begins that game or starts that game and can go big in that. So at the moment he's got 14.6% of managers owning him at the time of recording. I do expect that to go up further, probably hit around 30%, I reckon. I think people still want to see how he embeds in, and I assure you, once he gets a return or he gets a good game week in, he will ensure, he will make sure that managers bringing him in. They just can't go without bringing him in. But as we talk about fixtures for United, after that, they got West Ham away, which is a hard game in my opinion, but he can score. You got Aston Villa at home, Everton and Leicester. So all those defences can be, targeted, can be somewhere where he can actually take advantage. So that's why for me, I think he's going to be a great shout ahead of Lukaku. So I've decided to go him over Lukaku. Can I look to upgrade Lukaku after game week 7, which I'm looking at? I'm going to have a look at his form, see how he does, and if he's performing well, there's no harm for me to reconsider my strategy and potentially bring him back in. I don't know at whose expense at the moment, but we can always think about that closer to the time. But for now, the 3 premiums that I'm going for in all the positions: Ronaldo up front, Salah in midfield, and Trent in my defence. So I've got a nice equal spread of my premiums in my squad. Last but not least is Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So DCL, fantastic start to the season. He's on penalties for Everton, at least the first penalty of the game. Owned by 15.2% of managers so far, 23 points with 3 goals, plus scored in every game. Now, what that tells me about Dominic Calvert-Lewin, he's got an injury doubt, 75% likely to play on the FPL website. I think he'll be fit to play. I haven't heard much around his injury front at the moment. But what does that mean? If he's injured and I need to replace him, there are alternatives. There's Danny Ings, for example, Callum Wilson if he's fit, Ivan Toney, for example. There are many teams that I can consider. They're playing Brighton, so I can consider Ivan Toney as well. So we have a lot of other alternatives we can select. Even Bamford against Liverpool. I know it's a difficult game, but that's Bamford at the end of the day, guys. He's on penalties. He can score. Liverpool has conceded 3 goals against them last season when Leeds played. So there's nothing much to worry about. I'm going to keep a close eye on him, and if he's fit to go, then of course I will look to bring him in. Now, what does this mean about my squad overall? So who's going to be my captain? Who am I looking at the moment? So at present, I've put the captain's armband on Ronaldo. Now, closer to the time, I'll be listening more to Ollie and Manchester United. If he's fit and he's ready, and I get a confirmation he's starting, he's going to be my captain. I think he'll make an impact even if he comes on as a substitute. He can get a goal. But if I don't get that confirmation that he's starting, I may be tempted to go for Salah just for this game week. Again, I want to be proactive, I want to be sensible, but we'll have to wait and see. So for now, he's my captain, Salah vice, and if I don't get the kind of confirmation that he's going to be starting for sure, then I may be tempted to put the captaincy armband on Mo Salah. So what does this look like for me in my team? This is my last team that I had. So the transfers I've made out is obviously Cresswell's gone, Diaz is gone, Dini's gone, Fernandes has gone, Lukaku and Bamford have gone as well. So I can show you what my new team looks like, how I picked it, and what it will look like for this game week coming up. So as I can show you guys on screen, Wildcard is active. Sanchez at the back, Trent, Kofel, Reguilon, Shaw, Salah, Rafinha, Jota, Antonio, Ronaldo, Calvert-Lewin. On my bench, Foster, Bissouma, Williams, Gilmore. Now, all those 3 outfield players play regularly. So this will suit me. Let's say, example, I'm going to be having a double game week in January or something, and I have a similar squad to this. My double game weeks in terms of bench boost will be great. And, even for free hits, I might not even need to do much tinkering unless I want to, maximise my return on specific fixtures. So looking good. I'm happy with it. I'm content. I don't think I'll be making any more changes. I've thought about this long and hard for the last couple of days. Even before the transfer window ended and the last game week was kind of ending as well, I kind of had a bit more thoughts around, if those transfers like Lukaku, which had come through as well, and for example, I got him in, and then Ronaldo, if that had come true, and for example, Harry Kane going to Spurs, obviously I had a kind of like a plan in my mind that I was going to go for. But this is what the squad looks like, and this is who I'll be going for. Now, other players that I did contemplate bringing in and thinking about if I should bring them in or not were the following players. So obviously Raheem Sterling, not getting the minutes at the moment, low ownership as well. If he gets the minutes and he hits form, I can look to bring him into my squad. Sadio Mane hasn't hit the ground running just yet, but he's got some good fixtures again. I was contemplating whether to double up on Liverpool premiums. If he'd had a good start, then I may have delayed Ronaldo and taken him for the next 4 or 5 game weeks. Kevin De Bruyne is injured at the moment. Again, a fantastic asset. People have forgotten how good this guy is. They've done well without him in terms of Man City, but when he comes back, he will go on the radar. He will have some good game weeks. He will get some good returns, and that's when we need to start thinking to get him in for good game weeks that we consider where he can get good returns. Let's not forget Man City, guys. They've had a tough start to the season, but they've banged in 5 goals back-to-back in 2 games without a striker. So they're to be reckoned with, and we need to remember he's one of the best players in the world. Jamie Vardy, 10.5 mil, the tempter. The guy looks fit, he's hungry. I thought Daka coming in at Ian Atch's form might affect his minutes. It hasn't done so far. He's hungry to play. I don't see him being benched, and it's very hard to go into this without him. But I've kind of considered Antonio based on his form and DCL. They'll serve me in the long run, but there's no reason why I can't consider him. If he gets better run of fixtures and he hits form, he can be considered. Now we've got Son, Mr. Son himself. How am I playing this wild card without him in there, especially with the fixtures that Tottenham have coming up as well? But for me, 10.5 mil. Yeah, 10 mil, sorry. 10 mil for Son. He's 10.1. He's gone up to in price increase. He's not on penalties. Yes, he's very, very good in terms of FPL returns, but I just think elsewhere there's points to be made, and I'll have to sacrifice someone like potentially Salah or even Trent to get him into my squad, which I'm not too keen on at the moment. But he can come into my squad if I see good form from him and he gets some good fixtures in there as well. And of course, Mr. Bruno Fernandes, who's going to be my pick and forget for the season in terms of FPL, the highest scoring, FPL player last season, 244 points. The guy's ownership has fallen drastically. Most managers have transferred him out, brought Ferran Torres in and Ronaldo in for Danny Ings out. But I know he's not going to be on penalties, but this guy's still so good. Will it affect his overall output? It may do. Will it affect it as much as we're anticipating? We're just going to have to wait and see. I may even get him back in for Salah. I'm saying this right now, but I don't think I'll be able to do that. I can't go without Salah, but he's there, guys. He's still in the game. He's still Bruno Fernandes. I think he'll do well. So these are the kind of players that I have considered as well, but let's just go back to my team itself. So that's my reveal, guys. This is my team reveal for Game Week 4. Wildcard activated. 5 at the back formation's gone. We're going for a 4-3-3, sorry. That is the formation we're playing. Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you like the squad? Give me a thumbs up if you like it on the video as well. However, if you're looking at some players that I haven't mentioned, let me know. Do you like this squad outlet? Do you like the template? Let me know your thoughts. What are you thinking? Have you played the wild card? Let me know in this video, guys. All you need to do is join the FPL INKLING League. The code's on the league below my camera screen. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already, if you like the content. And if you haven't subscribed yet, all you need to do is hit that subscribe button. Help me get to that 1K mark. And I want you to stay tuned for some more content I will be releasing regularly for FPL for this week before Game Week 4. And we'll do a live deadline stream on Saturday morning before the deadline itself. I want you guys to take care. Till then, I'll see you soon.